What's going on, world, and welcome back to the Pursuit of the Good Life podcast, your favorite self-help personal development podcast, coming live to you each and every single Thursday. I am your host, the Kameron Lovelace. How y'all doing today, man? As we record today is October 7th. That means it's the day after Game 4 of the NBA Finals. Y'all know how much I'm rooting for the Lakers to honor my main man, Kobe Bryant. And it looks like we are one win away from making that happen. So I'm in good spirits. I ain't going to lie to you. I'm in good spirits. I'm feeling good. My mind is set good. I slept good. It's just good right now. I can't complain right now. Family's healthy. Wifey's healthy. I'm healthy. Making moves. I'm in a good mood. How y'all doing? I will say, as y'all know, this is not a political podcast, but sometimes I will just creep into politics for a little bit. I feel some type of way about America. Like I said in last week's podcast, I feel like other countries are looking at us right now like, what do y'all got going on? Like y'all tripping. And like that just kind of doubled down when, the president just got COVID. And it's like if the most powerful office in the nation can get infested with COVID, what makes you think that, I'm immune and cannot be subject to the same thing? So I'm feeling some type of way about that, because I'm like, look, I am gonna double down. I'm quarantining, only going out to get food, gas, the essentials. Otherwise, I'm staying right here parked, seeing clients on my laptop from home in the safety of my own quarters. Y'all feel me? So that's just kind of how I feel. I just kind of had to touch on that. But y'all didn't come here for that. Y'all came here for a podcast. So let's go ahead and hop straight into it. So today's topic kind of came from a couple sessions that I had this week with some clients, right? And it's kind of looking at the whole picture when it comes to human behavior and how we operate and how we flow with the things that we're really trying to achieve in our life, right? And so I've talked about my relationship with my father growing up and how it wasn't the best, but it's in a great spot now. But it wasn't always that way. And so a lot of times I look through it through like life, or my pursuit of the good life, through a lens of sorts. So when I look at my dad, my father, and so my dad was raised, with a 2-parent background. He was the first one to go to college, and first generation college student, first generation entrepreneur. So I grew up seeing a lot of him, go out and do successful things. And one of the greatest things that my father particularly is great at is his ability to really connect and encourage people. So my dad he owns a fitness company, right? So he trains people, helps them lose weight, lifestyle changes, get their diet right, you name it. He has over, going on right now, 15 years of doing this work. And then before that, he, of course, was an athlete in his own right and was a physical therapist. So like forwards, backwards, all the way around it, he's somewhat of a guru in the field, right? But his superpower was his ability to connect with people and motivate people and encourage people and make them feel like good in his energetic, outgoing presence, if you will. And so that was something that he was really good at. And so when you match that with the skill set that he had, like I said, he was a physical therapist, so he went to school, was in shape, obviously, so he knows how to help people lose weight. So when you combine that with a skill set, and then you add the business acumen to the business acumen element to all of that, you get, this outward appearance of this great individual. However, I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't get a lot of that at home. Why? Because my dad would run this fitness business from about 3-4 o'clock in the morning and then come home around maybe like 6, 7, 8 p.m. talking about exhausted. But the bread will be there. Like, he was making money. He knows how to make money. Like I said, business acumen plus his superpower plus the skill set, he was killing the game financially. But not so much relationally. And so the thing about it was, my dad was what I'd like to refer to as one-dimensional. He was a one-dimensional businessman. And what I mean by that is that he was great at doing what he did and expanding and growing in the areas of finances or economic success, however you want to word that. He was great in those areas, but he wasn't there relationally for his family, which me personally, as obviously I was a kid in there. So, this is through the lens of a child, but obviously this contributed to the eventual divorce that my parents got into, right? Which of course then caused issues, between me and him. But like I said, as I've told you, we've moved past that, we've conquered that, we've addressed it, and now my dad is killing the game relationally. Me and my dad have a great relationship. But there are some of you out there that are also one-dimensional. And so how can you really recognize what are the areas in your life that you are killing the game in? Like, you phenomenal at it. But then there are these other areas in your life that need tightening up. I'm gonna be honest, we're gonna tighten it up. So today we're gonna tighten those things up. And so some of you who have listened to the podcast for a long time, you're familiar with the core four concept. The core four concept consists of your physical, mental, relational, and financial areas of your life. So we're going to start there. And I want you really to reflect on, am I good in these four areas, and which ones is not really going so hot right now? Which ones can I really improve on? So, for example, going back to the example of my father, financial, killing the game, absolutely crushing it, business making millions of dollars, expanding, growing, employees, all that, straight taxes, all that, it's great. It's fantastic. But when we curve up to this relational piece, right? So maybe he might be good with, extended family members who were living far away, calling, check up, whatever. But inside the home, he wasn't killing it. Wasn't killing it. And so physically, because he's fitness business, killing it. Obviously he's in shape. He's fitness. So, physically he's good. Mentally, maybe not. You don't know. Probably was physically exhausted after a long day. Probably a little mental fatigue as well over the long haul, because we know that eventually your mental health starts to wane on your physical health. And also your physical health can eventually wane on your mental health. All of these are interconnected. And so when I progressed into adulthood, I started to keep in mind like that experience for myself. And so there are some of you whose parents were killing the game in the relational department. Like, they were there for you. They made you laugh. You guys had great, awesome memories, but they were stinking up the joint in the financial department. Or they were stinking up the joint in the physical department. And they weren't taking care of their health. They weren't eating right. They weren't taking their medications. Or maybe their mindset wasn't right. Maybe they got angry. Maybe they were too much of their emotions, and they got angry and did things out of their anger, where they would say things all the time that they didn't mean, but it still hurt. So some of you, I want you to kind of reflect on like what environment was like your examples. Were they killing the game in boom, boom, boom in these areas? And then I want you to think about what areas are you killing it in. For me right now, honestly, I can honestly say like my mindset, mentality, like right now, praying, I'm killing that game right now. Why? Because I'm trained as a therapist. I know I can notice the signs for myself when I'm like, okay, I need a mental health break. I need to just chill, watch Netflix, watch mindless YouTube, and then let me go over, listen to a podcast. Maybe let me do some reading. Let me do some prayer. Like my mental mindset is pretty sharp right now. And I'm not saying that to my own horn, but like that's how I feel right now. Like I'm killing the game when it comes to my own personal mindset. There's not much you can say to me that's going to throw me off of my mindset, right? But let me talk to y'all about this physical. Let me tell you something. So me and my wife went to the store the other day, and I have a weakness for sweets. Let's just say sweets. Yeah, overall sweets. And so sometimes I go on like a crazy sugar crave. Like it doesn't happen like consistently, like let's say like for the whole month straight, but let's say for like a week, I will crave sugary snacks. And so usually for me, that sugary snacks is Oreo cookies and milk. I'm talking about I will go through a whole large pack by myself in a matter of 4 or 5 days. Kid you not. And so, like I said, we went to the store, right? And, I said to myself, you know what? I'm not gonna indulge in that right now. I'm just gonna chill out. Even though I'm kind of craving sweets, I'm gonna try to, work out a little bit. And, if you're gonna work out, obviously you need to eat right too. Otherwise it cancels out all the hard work you're doing in the workouts, right? Right. And so I said, you know what? I'm gonna take a break, from the Oreos and the milk so I can, have good insides while I'm working out, right? And so, my wife was like, okay, cool, whatever. Now, my wife, however, she loves, she always feels like she has to have ice cream in the house. And so that's her thing. Like no matter what, there has to be some sort of popsicle, ice cream, whatever it is, right? And normally I don't even touch it, right? But this particular time when we went to the store, when we got to the frozen section, she wanted the ice cream sandwiches. Y'all know what I'm talking about? With the 2 chocolate wafers with the ice cream in the middle, you know what I'm saying? And so she bought them, not nothing even extravagant neither. I'm talking about the Great Value brand. And has about, let's say like 20, 15, let's say about 15 sandwiches in the box. And so, I'm thinking, oh, okay, I can just snack on that a little bit and I'll be fine. Y'all, when I tell you, I popped open that box and had one, it was like having the Oreos all over again. And we had to go back for our second box. Not because we both were eating at the same rate. I ate plenty more than she did. And she bought it for herself. So we had to buy 2 boxes. So right now, even though my mindset right now is super sharp, my physical needs some improvement. Because probably, I'm not going to lie to you, when I finish this, I might just go get another ice cream sandwich. Or I might go work out. We'll see which one wins today. But if I don't keep that in check, then that 150 calories per sandwich, mind you, is going to catch up to me. So let's say, for example, I eat 2 in one day. That's 300 extra calories. Let's say I keep that up for 5 days straight. That's 1,500 extra calories that's catching up, that's creeping up on me. And so sometimes you won't notice how bad things get because in these particular areas of the core four, these areas are going to creep up on you. And before you know it, you're going to be in a bad spot. So me eating these ice cream sandwiches, I have to keep myself in check. Because otherwise, my sugar's going to go up. Maybe my cholesterol might go up. And let's say, for example, I'm like, I don't feel like working out today. And then I don't work out the next day. And then I don't work out the next day. But I'm still eating these ice cream sandwiches. So I'm not burning off these 150 per sandwiches. And then slowly but surely, my physical aspect of my core four is going slowly. And so what we know is that the thing about each area of these core fours that makes you, a multi-dimensional person, you have to do these little things that contribute to them consistently. I ain't saying you gotta do these daily. If you do it daily, you'll get a phenomenal result. But I know some of y'all that listen to this ain't there yet, right? And so I want you to just get consistent in one of these next areas. So some of you right now, your physical is like phenomenal. Like you going to the gym, like you working out, even during COVID. Like you saying, man, COVID can't even stop me. I'm gonna go to the gym, get my workout in. But your relationship with your girl is trash. Your communication skills with your boyfriend is trash. You haven't spoken to your mom since the beginning of the year, since her birthday. Some of y'all's finances is trash. Your financial habits, you just can't resist spending money on this, spending money on that. I ain't gonna come down your street, but you know who I'm talking to. Some of y'all need to highlight. So let me not jump down that throat. Let's back up. I want you to first foremost identify what areas you are absolutely positively crushing it in: physical, mental, relational, or financial. And some of y'all might be killing the game in multiple areas. I'm talking about you might be in great shape and you might be physically killing the game. Your mindset might be good and your relationship with your wife, your kids, your husband, everything is like straight. Everything is great. But that makes you a one-dimensional person. That makes you one-dimensional, which means when those other areas are falling off, you're going to be very easy to pick off. What do I mean by pick off? I mean that as soon as that other area crashes and burns because you haven't been taking advantage of it or you haven't been taking that care to it, that's going to trickle and affect the things that you're doing well. You can have a phenomenal relationship with your spouse. But if you ain't eating right, you ain't exercising right, you ain't taking your medicine, you ain't doing the things that you need to do physically, I guarantee you that's going to affect your relationship. Guarantee. You don't get your mindset right. You don't go to therapy. You don't do your meditation. You don't do your prayer. You don't read books to get smarter, wiser. I guarantee you that's going to affect your physical health and your financial health. If you don't take care of your money, that's going to affect your mindset. You don't take care of your relationships, again, going to affect your mindset, which will eventually affect your physical. Y'all get what I'm saying? And so we cannot be one-dimensional. Because if we're too busy being one-dimensional, we are so easy to pick off. We're so easy and vulnerable to fall. So Kameron, how do I do that? How do I stop from being strictly one dimensional? Well, honestly, it takes a certain level of discipline, but it also takes a certain level of community. Kameron, what you talking about? Let me break it down to you. So by yourself, you're sweet in one area, guaranteed. Me, sweet mindset, got it, locked in. Why? Because I'm constantly listening to podcasts, constantly praying, constantly reading, constantly looking to grow myself as a man, as a husband, as a business owner, as a son, as a Christian. Constantly looking at things like that because I'm personally invested in growing in that mental mindset area. Just how I've always been. But physically, I know myself. Physically, that's not where I'm prone to. So I know that when it comes to my mindset, when it comes to making sure that up here is stress-free and not putting more on my own plate and protecting my peace, establishing boundaries, I am very disciplined in that. I will always make sure that if I'm feeling stressed or if I'm starting to get overwhelmed, I take a break. That's the level of discipline that I have when it comes to my mindset, is that daily fruit, that daily bread when it comes to refueling and releasing that stress for me. However, I don't have that same discipline when it comes to physical. Sorry, I just don't. I like working out, but I don't love working out. If I don't feel like working out, I'm not going to work out. I'm not going to prioritize it. But that's where a community comes in. And that community comes in from people who are sharp in those other areas of your core four. When it comes to that physical aspect, I got family members, I got friends who I can lean on that can tell me what I need to do to be maintaining my physical health. When I'm tripping or am stuck financially, I don't know where to go in my business, I don't know where to do that, hit up my coach. And I say, hey, I'm stuck, I don't know what to do. When I'm bugging relationally, I need a group of men that can come into my life and tell me, hey, bro, you tripping. Or I need my wife to come and check me and say, hey, we ain't did no date night in a minute. You ain't told me, you ain't told me this, you ain't did this. You said you was gonna do this, but you ain't followed through with it. That hurt a little bit, don't it? See, the thing about accountability and discipline, these are two things we don't like doing for ourselves. Just being honest, we do not like somebody telling us and checking us on what we should be doing. We naturally don't like doing those things. But in order for you to be more than just a one-dimensional person, a one-dimensional employee, a one-dimensional husband, a one-dimensional business owner, a one-dimensional minister, a one-dimensional mentor, a one-dimensional brother. In order for you to move beyond that, you have to have those people in your corner who can push you to grow in those areas. You have to. Or else, like I said before, these other areas that you're slacking in are going to affect the areas that you're crushing it in. So that's why it's important to have discipline and accountability in a community. Now, am I asking you to, go out and join a club? Am I asking you to sign up for the Good Life community? Hey, no. If you can find somebody in your corner, like in your circle, who's like crushing those other sides, that's the voice of reason, that's the guru in physical, that's the guru in mindset, that's the guru in relationships, that's the guru in financial development. Oh yeah, stick with them. But if you don't, I would encourage you to go find those people. or eventually, like, these areas are going to start bleeding. And not necessarily a rapid bleed either. It'll be a slow bleed. And you might not even notice it. And eventually it'll turn into a hemorrhage. That means you've lost too much blood, for those people who don't know. Sorry, I didn't mean to get sciencey. But it is so vitally important to not be a one-dimensional person, y'all, because that eventually affects you. And it affects the people around you too. Because we know here at The Good Life, we talk about, how you doing in your personal life and your professional life. So it's going to affect how you interact with your family, how you interact with your spouse, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, how you interact with your kids, how you interact with your mom, your dad, your cousins. It's going to interact how you interact with your team, your employees, your clients. It is you are a holistic human being. That's what I like to tell my clients, is that you are holistic. There's more going on than just what you're coming in and talking to me about. There's more to it than that. I'm going to help you with this area, but I'm also going to make sure that these other areas are sharp too. That's just who I am. That's what I believe. And so and I say this, me included, I'm looking at me in the mirror too, especially when it comes to these ice cream sandwiches. We have to become more than one-dimensional beings. We have to expand. We have to be better in these 4 areas of our lives. And we have to get a community that can help us. And it's not just a one-way street. They're not just helping us. You're helping them too. So when my friends come and talk to me about, hey man, I'm stressed. Okay, let's chop it up. I'm gonna give you some empathy, but I'm also put some fire behind you and get your butt back out there, because you're not gonna quit. Y'all come to this podcast because I can help get your mindset together. I benefit your self-help, personal podcast, all of that. That's why you come to me. And I can continue to fulfill that. But if I don't make sure that my physical health is not good, that I'm getting my physicals, that I'm making sure that I am physically fit to do this podcast, then that's going to affect my ability to mentally execute. If I don't make sure that the lights come on, that the bills coming, that, the phone bill's paid, then this podcast ain't going to happen. If I don't make sure things are relationally good with my wife and my family, that's going to affect my ability to execute on the podcast. It's not complicated, guys. I just want you guys to challenge yourself. No, matter of fact, don't challenge yourself. I'm challenging you to be more than a one-dimensional person. Don't be just a one-dimensional business owner. Be a great husband. Don't just be a one-dimensional workout fitness person. Be a phenomenal mentor. Be a phenomenal minister. Be a phenomenal volunteer. Be a phenomenal, multi-dimensional person. It's my challenge to you for this week. All right, guys. Y'all know how I do. And when it's just me, I don't go over 30 minutes. So I'm hitting just that. Guys, do me a favor and give the podcast 5 stars and share this with somebody who really, really needs it. But until then, keep pursuing your version of the good life, and I'll see you next week.